Video games have grown far beyond their niche origins, evolving into a multi-billion-dollar global industry that rivals, and often surpasses, film and television. What began as an experimental hobby has transformed into a mainstream cultural powerhouse, with dedicated fanbases forming around consoles, franchises, and even specific characters. Yet, as the industry expands, the relationship between gaming companies and their communities has grown more complex, and at times hostile. Few companies embody this tension better than Nintendo. Beloved for its legendary franchises and family-friendly image, the Japanese gaming giant has also earned a reputation for aggressively defending its intellectual property. The company's latest move, a $4.5 million lawsuit against a Reddit moderator, has reignited debate about whether Nintendo's pursuit of control is crossing ethical lines. Nintendo's lawsuit against a Redditor feels excessive. Nintendo's legal battle targets James Archbox Williams, who moderated the subreddit r/SwitchPirates. The company claims that Williams didn't just oversee a piracy discussion forum but actively promoted and facilitated the illegal distribution of games. According to Nintendo's filing, he allegedly messaged thousands of users about pirating Switch titles, managed related websites, and even requested eShop gift cards in exchange for technical help with emulation. If true, these allegations certainly paint Williams as more than a passive moderator. Still, the scope of Nintendo's retaliation, demanding $4.5 million in damages, feels wildly disproportionate. The company insists that this figure doesn't even begin to compensate for the seriousness of defendants' conduct, yet pursuing a single individual for such an astronomical sum seems more symbolic than practical. Many observers believe the lawsuit isn't about recouping losses, but about sending a warning. Instead of directing its legal efforts toward Reddit itself or the platform's hosting providers, Nintendo chose to single out one person, an unmistakable statement meant to discourage anyone else from facilitating piracy. A history of heavy-handed legal action. Nintendo's history of litigation stretches back decades. During the NES era of the 1980s, the company maintained notoriously strict licensing policies that limited who could develop for its consoles. When Codemasters released the unlicensed game Genie, Nintendo immediately took legal action to protect its brand and business model. That same spirit of control persists today. In 2022, Nintendo won a $14.5 million judgment against Gary Bowser, a hacker convicted of manufacturing Switch mod chips. Even after serving prison time, Bowser is now required to surrender a portion of his income to Nintendo indefinitely. Beyond piracy, Nintendo has also been quick to go after creators and fans. The company routinely issues takedowns for fan games, mods, and even musical remixes that use its intellectual property, a stark contrast to other gaming giants like Sega or Bethesda, who often tolerate or even embrace fan projects. The recent controversy surrounding Palworld, whose Pokémon-like designs drew legal threats and subsequent patent filings from Nintendo, shows how far the company will go to protect its turf. Ignoring the real threats. What frustrates fans most about Nintendo's lawsuit against Williams isn't just its severity, it's the inconsistency. The company's zero-tolerance stance toward individual fans contrasts sharply with its silence in the face of far more serious infringements by powerful entities. A recent example illustrates this perfectly. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) agency released a promotional video using the Pokémon theme song, official character footage, and even fake trading cards, all without permission. Despite the Pokémon company publicly distancing itself from the project, the video remains on official government social media channels, including the White House's TikTok page. That kind of blatant infringement goes unpunished, while fan projects, created out of passion rather than profit, are swiftly erased from the internet. The message is clear. Nintendo enforces its rules selectively, coming down hard on individuals while letting institutional offenders walk away unscathed. A risky future for Nintendo's reputation. No one disputes that piracy is a legitimate concern. Game development is expensive, and intellectual property deserves protection. But Nintendo's habit of waging financial war against fans and small creators risks alienating the very community that has supported it for decades. As gaming culture becomes more connected and community-driven, Goodwill matters as much as innovation. Fans already complain about Nintendo's high prices, limited time releases, and restrictive online services. Coupled with harsh legal tactics, these frustrations could easily turn admiration into resentment. Industry veteran Gabe Newell once said, "Piracy is almost always a service problem." It's a lesson Nintendo seems unwilling to learn. Players turn to emulation and fan-made projects not just to steal, but because they want better access to old games, to preservation, to convenience. Rather than punishing individuals with life-ruining lawsuits, Nintendo could invest in making its own services more consumer-friendly and comprehensive. If the company continues prioritizing legal crackdowns over player satisfaction, it risks eroding decades of goodwill. Fans may love Zelda, Pokémon, and Mario, but even nostalgia has its limits.